welcome to Wryne's Wasteland Tutorials. This is a just out of the vault tutorial. That means you just started the game. It's your first day playing. You've just finished your character, you came through this door, you've seen the cinematic opening, you've walked out into the world, and you see the world before you. From this point on, you've got, well, the first mission to start off with, which you can start off by going over here and going to this little sign and clicking on it, and it'll take you down to the Wayward. As you go down, you'll notice there's a bot down there where the gentleman that just started playing is talking to the robot at the entrance. From the robot, you go just a little further down on the left, and there'll be two scavvers that are out, and they are going to point you in the direction of the main quest. Once you get down near the Wayward, which from here is all the way down here on the map, you'll have passed by the Moonshiner Shack, you'll have seen the Gilman Lumber Company and the isolated cabin and all that stuff, and you'll come over here and there's the Overseer's Camp. From this point right here, you can start the Overseer's quest line and go down into Flatwoods, or you can start going over into the Wayward and starting the new quest line that was added by the new content. If you come out of the vault and you go over here to your right, there's a corpse that you can get some items from, and there's also some down below where you'll meet your first set of bad guys, which are these little robots down here that look like spiders called Liberators. There's one right there. Let me see if I can show you. That's what a Liberator looks like. Of course, that one's a little dead at the moment, but that's a Liberator right there. This is my character Harley. I'm going to show you, this is the first corpse you can find. There's another couple around here that you can loot to get some extra materials. You're at the vault. This is the very first location you come out of, and it's a free location to fast travel from. From here, you go down, you start your quest line. One of the things you'll get from the every other tutorial is you go down and you do the Wayward's quest, you'll get schematics. Schematics are plans. They'll show up in your Pip-Boy under notes. In order to use those, you have to actively learn them. Once it shows up here, you just click on it and your character will learn how to make whatever it is or modify whatever it is. Usually it's weapons plans, building items for building a house and whatnot. Those are all the things that you typically get. Now, what most people don't bother to tell you, and you really need to know, is there's this section here called the scoreboard. Every season we have a scoreboard. It goes from 1 to 100, and it goes beyond 100, but 100 is what the max rank for the scoreboard is to unlock everything that's available on it. After that, it's just bonus items. Now, you'll see some of these have these little rings, and that's for Fallout First members. So if you're a Fallout First member, you'll actually get an extra item out of this whenever you clear this point. You'll also get boosts to your, if you look up above my score rank, you'll see that I've got a 25% boost. As you go through the board, if you're a Fallout First member, you'll get boosts to the score ranking as you go along. Now, to find out what you need to do for the scoreboard, you have to go to challenges. You'll check dailies for daily challenges, like all of these right here are challenges that I could do for score, and it gives you the amount. And then they've also got weekly challenges, and these are ones that you have to complete during the week in order to get the highest amount of score points for the challenges that you'll be doing. Now, as you go through the scoreboard, you'll unlock different things, and there'll be everything. Like this one had a shotgun that you could unlock at level 4, or power armor skins and whatnot, because we have they give us this as a free item basically for you to go through. But if you go down here under character, survival, combat, all this stuff, social, and world, you'll find little things over here that you can complete that are atoms specific. That means that if you complete this challenge, like say if I destroy 1,000 robots, 1,001 actually, with a blunt weapon, I'll get 40 atoms out of it. Now the atoms that you get are spendable in the atomic shop, and in the atomic shop you'll find different things that are available. Everything from outfits, which can be crafted, to different items for your camp. You'll also find things like skins for weapons, and unlike other games where you have weapon skins that are apply to all the weapons in the game, these skins apply to specific types of weapons. For instance, the flamingo paint job here is specifically for a flamethrower. Okay? And the outfits will all appear under outfit for whenever you're building it in game. In the armor bench, you'll have a section that's called outfit, and you'll have a section that's called headwear if it comes with something like a helmet or a mask. That's where that'll be found at. Now, this thing here is a loot bag. Whenever you die or drop items in game, you drop a loot bag. Whenever you first start playing, that is a paper bag. As you go through the scoreboard, sometimes they'll have one of these in the scoreboard that will unlock, or you can buy one in here by spending atoms on it. To be honest, I've been playing this game so long and accumulated so many atoms over the period of playing it that I own quite a bit of stuff in here, as you can tell. But the idea is you've unlocked all this stuff, right? In the scoreboard and in the atomic shop, you have under camp items, you have everything from vaults to allies to storage boxes to decorative items, paintings, all that kind of stuff. Posters, couches, stages, defensive barriers, a little bit of everything you can imagine is in here in one place or another. The reason why I'm showing you this is because there's a category in here, and it's probably the easiest one to find is in this one here. Okay, these are floors, and what that is a different floor texture for the wood or stone floors that you have. If you apply a steel or metal texture to a wooden floor and your character walks on it, it's still going to sound like it's made out of wood, just so you know. If you apply a wooden floor on a stone floor, it's still going to sound like it's made out of stone. But the thing that I'm talking about that most people don't know is you also get these things called wallpapers, okay? So I'm going to show you how wallpapers operate in game. Here, let me go to, let's see, which camps do I have open right now? I will go ahead and activate this one because it's one that I need to move anyway. And I will go ahead and show you how this works. By going there and redoing one of the wallpapers there so you can see what I'm talking about. Now, the biggest problem in this game is that you get over encumbered relatively easily. If you use Fallout first, you can go ahead and get rid of stuff at your tents. There's a variety of tents. Mine currently looks like an armored personnel carrier, but the tents are basically, think of it as small portable camps that you can just throw down anywhere because it's effectively what they've made. Then let's go with this. That should do it for now. Now then I'm going to jump up here on top of this thing. If you look up on my map, north of the location that we're going to, which is Seneca Rock, they've nuked the area repeatedly on this map because there's a final boss that you have to use the nukes to bring out or gain access to in that area. There are a few different final bosses in this game. The one that's due north of here is Earl Williams, and the one that everybody else usually nukes is either the Scorchbeast Queen, which is down here in this area, or the newest one, which is the
Make sure to
mega.
pay your respects whenever you
I don't know how. Seismic
fallen
activity is what it's
brother.
called, but it's basically a giant mole rat that you wind up dealing with. So, okay, you've built your house. In this case, I'm going to show you this. So you built your house. If you notice, there are different types of walls. Some of these are things you purchase in game. Some of these are things that you purchase in the atomic shop. For instance, the wooden set right here, the cabin pieces are atomic shop, while the brick pieces here are in the standard game. So, and as you
I
notice,
wish I could be a scribe.
there's this
Instead,
texture here on the inside, the wooden plank look. In my game, I own several different wallpapers. This is one of them. When you set up your wall and you placed it, okay? Whoa. Um, Once you have your wall placed, you can click on it to edit it. And when you edit it, what it does is you've got down here at the bottom on my screen, you've got blueprint, store, scrap, replace. And whenever you hit store, scrap, replace, you can actually replace it with different walls of the same category, or even change the entire category to a different thing. Like I could change this brick wall into a corrugated steel wall. Now you don't see it here, but on the other side, there you go, corrugated steel. Now the reason why you don't see it here is because the wallpaper is in place. These two walls have very drastically different appearances when it comes to interiors, and I will show you that right now. So you go to, this is the no wallpaper button up here, it's the red X. You go from edit, you click over to wallpapers, you select this, and it removes the wallpaper entirely. Now the thing is, when you remove a wallpaper, you also remove any decoration that's on that wall at the time. So all the decorations I had up there, that one picture, is now in my inventory under stored. And this is the concrete wall here. It's basically a brick wall with a concrete backing. It doesn't look horrible. It's actually one of my favorites in the game, and I'll show you why right now. So we'll go ahead and replace this with the steel wall, and you see it's got the matchstick build, the wooden interior
I
structure,
am
and
not
then the
mad.
corrugated metal
I
is
am
stamped right
just
on it. The
disappointed.
most basic wall that you get is this one right here. It's a wooden wall, and it's the first wall that you'll get. It's the one that you'll have when you first come out of the thing, and it is literally just a thrown together wooden wall made out of scrap wood and put up here, and it's built exactly, basically all of the walls except for the concrete wall, the steel wall. This is the Helvetia wall.
Drop
This
and
is a
give me
Brotherhood wall.
100.
But any wall that, they basically all have the same interior structure, except for like, I'm gonna say 5 out of all of them. But like this one here, you can't even put any type of wallpaper on it on the interior. It's not even an option. And the glass walls, same thing. There are 2 different types of glass walls. This is the newest modern house type build wall, which I honestly don't like it. Not that it's not cool looking, because it actually is kind of cool, because it's got the cedar shake walls
What
like this.
would Elder
But the
Gregson say if he saw
it's too
the
clean.
state
It
of
needs
your
a
camp?
filthy variety, if that makes any sense. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like this one here is another one of the Enclave or um, Brotherhood of Steel type construction walls, and it's metal all the way around. And but it even has like no ability for really wallpaper on it either. But you know, it's just. Well, I guess it does have the ability. You can put it down and then you can switch it over.
A
And the
magnifying
wallpaper on
glass
it looks
is
like this, which
technically
just
not
looks
a
like
toy, but the inspector
I
doesn't
it's
have to
just
know I'm
nasty.
playing with it.
just stepped in.
It's one of those things
But
where why would you bother
how
doing that to it anyway?
disgusting.
But there are several different wallpapers in the game. Each wallpaper costs you a little bit of space in your camp. Most people don't realize how much space. Most camp builders that you see that build on YouTube or in this game that are popular will use what they call uh, double walls, which is basically them taking two walls, sticking it together with the exteriors of, or the interior of each wall facing in an opposite direction, so they can use two different wallpapers to make it look like they have a different wall structure. I'll be honest with you, it's a waste of budget to do that. But some people like it because they like the look, and some people can
I
achieve some really
wonder
awesome
if they
looking
can make
camps
power armor in my
built that
size.
way. Me personally, I don't do it because it's a design choice. I mean, I do a lot of different things, but that's just one of the things I don't do. Because usually I have too many things that I want to do in a camp to waste my budget on something like that. It's kind of like putting out extra turrets or guns and that kind of stuff in areas where you know you don't need them. This camp here doesn't really need turrets. I mean, it can get attacked, but any camp can get attacked, and I'll explain to you what I mean by that in just a minute. But it's really, really unlikely here because there's no wandering monsters, because we are literally on top of a cliff, as you can see here. This is, let's see if I can do this. Photo mode. There we go. Clear that out. This house is built on the top of a cliff. There is very little area for anything to spawn that could attack. But the problem with saying that is, the way the game's mechanics are set up, mathematically there's always a chance you will get attacked. Because mathematically they have gone ahead and placed an attack queue on your camp module, which will fire off every once in a while, even when you don't expect it to. In locations like this, it's usually about 1 in every 10 to 20 times you arrive at your camp. To be honest, I don't even know where I put the camp module in this camp at this point. That's part of the reason why I need to move it. But if you want a bunch of really cool locations to try and build at, or just interesting locations for low-level players to build at, I did make a video on that. But I wanted to show you how to do what I just did with the walls, because I've been asked by a lot of players recently how you do that. I've also been asked where outfits go whenever you buy them. Mostly new players, totally understandable. But a lot of items are in-game purchases. You can buy them from vendors at White Springs, or you can buy them from Graham as he travels around. Graham is the super mutant trader. He runs around, so watch out for him. He will kill you if you shoot him. There are power armor skins, there are weapons skins, these little beer steins you get for different events that come by. This one here is from Graham's Meat Week, if I recall correctly. Usually in every scoreboard they have came out with a new Protectron skin, but not always, so you may want to buy one of those. They're a resource gathering item in most camps, and they'll gather whatever items you have versions of Protectron for. By that I mean there's like one that'll grab only junk, there's one that'll grab Nuka-Cola, there's one excuse me. They will specifically grab whatever it is they are built for. So this one here, and if you own multiples of them, you can change the parameters for each one to a different one. For instance, if you own the Fosnock Protectron, but you don't like the way he looks and you want to use the Brotherhood of Steel Protectron for some reason, you can go ahead and put out the Brotherhood of Steel Protectron, go into the computer beside of him and tell it to gather the materials that the Fosnock one gathers instead. Or the Nuka-Colas from the Nuka-Cola one, and so on and so forth.
Wasteland coming to.
But the one thing you should always do is have fun. So you know. And I go around and I rate camps, and if I rate your camp and I rate it poorly, and you're there, I'm usually in an open mic in an area chat. So you can actually ask me why I'm rating your camp so poorly, and I will explain it to you. I will even help you fix it if you want to fix it. So you know. I'll post videos and tutorials to try and help you make better camps, to try and
Use
make it so you enjoy the
this
game a little bit better.
ammo to
And I'll try
exterminate
and make it so that
super
you
mutants.
find out information that you should know that, well, people don't really tell you unless you're, you know, really in one of the many, many discords that are out there that are running around. Um, but I'll help you where I can. So, as I said before, have a good time, have fun, enjoy the game as best you can. It changes quite often. Here on the 13th of June, we will be getting a new scoreboard. That means we will have an update and they will modify the game in some fashion. And as the game is modified, it will improve some things and most likely break something else because it's always the
Someone
way it works.
needs to do something about civilians
It just
setting
seems that
off
they always have
nukes.
something tied together in some fashion that they don't realize it until they already post out the updates. So look for new glitches, find them, have a good time, and do the quest line as best you can. The quest line is where you get a lot of really cool items. For instance, there are statues you get from going around and collecting the tapes for the Overseer quest line. And by tapes, I mean the holotapes. She has these journal entries that you can go through and collect all these different things. Um, and the journals are, you know, always fun and different things like that. The missile silo status tape, you get it from doing the enclave test, and it'll tell you which silos haven't been used out of the nuke silos on the server that you're on. There are games like this Nuka Tapper and Pitfall. Those will spawn randomly in the world. I want to say Nuka Tapper, though, in particular, if you are just starting out the game and you are at Vault 76 and you have not yet left the vault, one of them spawns in there. And you'll be able to get a copy of it right off the bat. And the games actually work in your Pip-Boy, and you can play them if you want to, or you can just collect them. They're kind of a collector's thing. And as you noticed, as I said before, there are the challenges, and if you go through all the challenges, there are plenty of atoms that you can win, and they also unlock perk card packs for certain level increases and things like that. The benefit to that is that when you go to your perks on your character, right here, as you level up, you'll get more perk points to spend. But as you level up, you'll also get access to legendary perks. And the higher your level, the more of these you'll be able to unlock. I want to say it's one card per every 50 levels that you have. So one at 50, one at 100, one at 150, one at 200, one at 250, one at 300, if I remember right. But I could have that off, and it could advance more than that as it goes, because it's been a while since I did it, as you can tell. But yeah, the other thing you need to know is generators. Okay, in this house, I'm going to show you
Is
this
it
real
too
quick.
much to ask that you
This is
keep
the
things
generator
neat
here.
and orderly
It is the
around here?
nuclear generator. Now, generators, you get plans for the generators specifically from doing events that happen at the power stations, like that one right in front of me. They'll have a warning thing going off where they'll want people to come in and help fix the generator or fix the power station, and you get generator plans as a reward for doing those events. Now, the other thing that you'll be looking for as you travel is these workbenches. Your workbenches, you can find those at pretty much any
You
of the
will
train stations will
never
have
have
workbenches at
hopes of
them, and
joining the
quite a few
Brotherhood
train
with
stations will
muscles
have
like that.
plans for the workbenches that are free that are there by the workbench usually. If not, the vendor at that station will probably sell you one. They usually don't go for more than 250 caps. Do not buy them from players that are selling them, because most players that sell them, unless you're me, will leave them at 250 caps because they won't think about it and won't reprice them. If you see me online in particular, or anybody that knows me that I played with for an extended period of time, these things will be at 0 to 5 caps in their vendor,
This
which is this right
camp's
here.
defenses
This is
leave
the basic
much
vendor that
to
everybody
be
has.
desired.
There are
Are
other versions
you
of it, but this is the
trying
basic
to
one.
get your supplies stolen?
The other versions of vendors look like this, and I will pull them up now to show you. Okay, this is a... Okay. That's the basic vendor, right? Right there. Then it goes to the blue painted vendor, the green painted vendor, the white painted vendor, the yellow painted vendor, the free states vendors, the raider vendors, the Halloween themed vendor, the winter themed
First
vendor,
mutants, now
Slocum
scorched.
Joe's.
What is this
There are different
wasteland
colors
coming
of this
to?
option. The Red Rocket Mini Mart vendor, which kind of looks like a gas pump. The Tipsy Tom, which is basically a bartender. These little cash boxes, which are another type of vendor. They're so that they were put in here mainly so that we could build our own little stores. This is the other kinds of Slocum Joes that I was telling you about. Like I said, there's a pink one, a red one, a green one, a blue one. There's also this one here, which is basically a reskin of it's called Sweetie Pete. And it's a Nuka Quantum themed vendor, but it's basically a Tipsy Tom with a slightly different
I
paint job.
wonder
This
if
one
they
here is the
can
most unique
make
vendor that we
our
have,
armor in
which
my
is the
size.
Fortune Teller's trailer. And then this other one here is the vending robot, which this one here is my favorite currently. But check people's vendors, look for stuff. Everybody has things priced at different amounts. You don't have to pay for something if you don't want to at that amount. If the person is there and you can talk to them, 9 times out of 10, if it's just something they're trying to get rid of, they'll make a deal with you. If it's something that they
This
need
collection is
desperately,
property
or they
of
have priced
the
way out of your
Brotherhood.
price range, just talk to them and see what they say. There are a large variety of these other things over here. This is a water collector. Basically, this one is the ground version. There are 2 or 3 other versions that go into water purifiers that go in directly into water. And yeah, there's at least 4 different power supplies that you'll have access to as far as like your camp power budget. Um, Turrets, you really only need them if you absolutely have to have them, and you'll figure that out relatively quick. But anyway, if you're camping in the forest, you shouldn't need many. I would say 2 at the most. But have a good time, have fun. I'll try and throw up this video soon. I'll also try and throw up a simple build that you can do as a first-time player that should be easy for anybody to build. I may even start a new character on a different account for it. So have a good day and have fun.